Hollywood's just crazy to me, dude. I just don't understand it. Like, it seems like they hate white men.
Well, some people that work in Hollywood, I'm sure, don't like white men, but that's a thing about woke culture. It's like there's a hierarchy of the injustices that you have faced. But white men have, even if it's not you, which is where it gets prejudiced, because if it's not you, white men over history have caused the most grief. They've caused the most trouble. They've been responsible for the most injustices in this country, at least. You know, slavery, red line laws.
Other people helped with slavery. Let's don't just pin the tail
100%.
on the honky donkey. You know what I'm saying?
But in America, slaves were exclusively owned by white people.
Right.
In other countries, they're owned by all kinds of people. This is where it gets weird.
See, that's what we got to do then.
Well, what people don't understand is there's more slaves today than there have ever been. There's more slaves today than there were before 1865 when slavery was abolished in America.
You're lying.
Nope, there's more slaves. In Libya, when we took down Libya and the rebels killed Gaddafi on television, did you ever see that?
I didn't know.
It's one of the most terrifying
videos. What channel
videos.
was it on?
C-SPAN. But Libya for a while became like a failed state, and at one point in time there were slave auctions in Libya that you could watch on YouTube.
Okay.
How crazy is that? Like, Google the actual numbers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a real statistic. And this is also one of the things that people are terrified about with this border deal, okay? Because one of the things about the border, it's not as simple as people coming over and they want a better life, of course. But it's also people being exploited. And there's tens of thousands of kids that are missing. Who knows if they've been smuggled into child trafficking. There's who knows how many people have been, okay, hold on a second. It says estimates range from about 38 to 49.6 million people are slaves today. The number of enslaved people is difficult to determine. Estimates range from 38 to 49 million.
What?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't have any clue.
Well, you have to include people that can't leave, even if they're not like in cages. People that are trapped, right?
Like Gaza people, you mean?
Well, I would talk like people that work in coal mines or cobalt mines in the Congo. They're essentially slaves. I mean, they give them the minimal amount of food and water. They work in horrific conditions, and they live in complete abject poverty.
But they're treated better than the people in Gaza, though.
Perhaps. Well, they're all getting poisoned. They're all getting poisoned pulling that cobalt out of the ground.
Yeah, but still, they're getting lunch, I bet.
Probably not a good lunch, I would imagine. Either way, yeah, you could find other spots that suck worse. But the point is, like, those people you could kind of consider slaves. And then there's real slavery. You know, this friend of mine was telling me about this place that was built in Jamaica or the Bahamas. I think it was the Bahamas. And they brought in Chinese workers in like this giant ship. And he said they had this patch of land. They put up a fence around the land, and all the Chinese workers lived on that land. And the Chinese workers built this resort there, and they worked nonstop, 24 hours a day. They built the whole thing in 18 months. They would just have shift after shift. And once it was completed, they took all the workers, put them back in the boat, put them right back to China. So what was that?
Right.
Was that slaves?
That's slavery.
It seems like slaves. Like it seems like unless they paid those people an exorbitant amount of money, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the arrangement was. But they put a fence around the area. They brought people in a giant ship, and then they put them back on the ship and shipped them back to China. Like if you're a slave.
Well, look at Firefest. Remember Firefest or whatever?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that, dude?
Well, that was a dude trying to make money.
Right, but still, those people got carted over there.
Yeah.
Nothing to eat, nowhere to sleep. Definitely different than slavery, but still, it's like, it's funny. You think just because things happened a long time ago that it's not slavery today, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that Fire Festival is a form of slavery.
I agree.
Did you see Prop 6 in California?
What is that?
That's on the screen.
Prop 6 prohibits slavery and involuntary servitude.
And it did not pass.
What?
Wow.
What? Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
In California?
Yeah.
Proposed amendment to California's Constitution would bar slavery in any form and repeal a current provision allowing involuntary servitude as a punishment for crime.
Because a lot of them gay producers trying to trank out them twinks, homie. That's why, bro.
Keep them as slaves?
I'll tell you, bro. They fight every now and then.
How would you? Why?
Every now and then, some twink fucking clambers out of an air vent.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
It's forced labor in prisons.
Yeah, it has to do with paying people to work in prisons and do like they have to fight the wildfires and stuff.
Interesting. So they want them to have to work. Wow.
They just don't want to pay.
Yeah, that's
Bro.
California.
But that is what happened, right? That was what the Jim Crow laws were all about, man. Like one of the things about slavery is slavery didn't end, boom, now let's give black people jobs. No, slavery ended, and then there was this long period where black men would get arrested for anything and everything.
Yeah.
And then they'd be forced to work. And they had work camps. And so you were still
the same thing.
You could just get caught and you'd be a slave. You get a bad cop, decides you're speeding, whatever it is, you're a slave.
Yeah.
And
speeding,
they did that
you didn't have
for-
a car, and you're speeding.
Yeah, you're looking at people bad. You're verbally intimidating people, whatever the fuck it is. People like you see with when someone wants to target you for something,
Yeah.
you pissed off the wrong people. They fucking come after you with the law, and they can get you if they just decide that you shouldn't be free. And we're just gonna. There's an industry around slave labor, which there is. There's also an industry now around keeping people in prison, right? Because the prisons are private. So it's a private corporation owns this building where you lock people up for money. You get paid for them being there. So
Who gets paid?
the private prison? There's contracts with the state.
Like it's like a summer camp or something kind
Well,
of
I
thing?
don't know who gives the contracts, but no, prisons are owned by corporations.
Okay, so prisons own corporations. So
No. Prison is owned by a corporation, so it's a business.
Okay.
So they lobby to make sure that laws stay on the books. One of them is marijuana. So the prison guard lobby, they were trying to make sure that marijuana stays illegal so that more people stay in prison.
Okay.
Because the more people in prison, the more jobs they have, the more hours they have, the better benefits they'll have. And the prison wants as many people in jail as possible
'Cause they get money.
that is how they make money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who makes the money? It's not the government?
No. Well, in some jails, but there's private prisons. Like, what are the percentage of private prisons? Well, no, I know we've looked this up, but I forget the number.
Are they
There's-
nicer?
I don't think so.
What about the Excalibur in Las Vegas? That place is a fucking private prison, dude. You ever been there? Dear God, bro.
Bro, I heard Circus is going down. That's the
bro.
ultimate. Circus is like, how is this place legal?
Dude, that was
At the end of 2022, 8% of the total state and federal prison population in the United States was in private prisons.
What?
Yep. Which is about 90,873 people. This makes private prisons a relatively small part of the correction system, which is mostly public, which, by the way, is even crazier. How about the fact that 90,000 people in jail is a small percentage?